Now today I have this little compact VHS camera. Not something I normally touch because most of these are full of rotten capacitors and stuff, and they're not much fun to work on, but I saw this one cheap and I thought I might just grab it, even if I just pull the viewfinder out of it, assuming that's even working. No battery with it, but it looks like, according to the bottom, it runs off 6 volts. So I might hook 6 volts up and just see if it does anything. But generally these things tend to be pretty shot, especially these days, but they were known for issues with capacitors, and they have an awful lot of them in there. Oh, better check the voltage first, which it is still on 6 volts from doing that little car thing. Oh, yeah, motors are running. We're pulling a good amp there. Yeah, oh, there's eject. Oh, so it's got a, oh, we've got a tape in here. Maybe the tape doesn't eject. Oh, well, it does. Well, sort of. It's a little sticky. That's the other problem. They get sand and stuff in them and all sorts of things. Oh, well, there you go. I got a free videotape with it. What a bonus. At least I don't have to. I do have one other that belongs to a friend, but I don't want to put a tape in here unless I know it's functional. Well, something's happening. We have a viewfinder. It was coming up with a bit of rubbishy. Oh, it just turned off. Where is the power button on this thing? It must be this rotary thing, I guess. Well, it's gone well and truly to sleep. Is there something to... We've got function 1, focus, select, lock to release. Is that like standby maybe? Lock auto mode, lock release. Oh, I think it's just gone dead. Oh wait, we've got something here. Oh, this is, so okay, here's the camera and the record button, of course. I knew they had a switch usually somewhere. Play and camera. It's in play mode. It's died, I think. What is it? Oh, yeah, okay, lens cover. It's flashing lens cover up, etc. How do we open the lens cover then? Remote. Don't know what that's for. Oh, here we go. Lens cover open. Wow, very weird sort of washed out picture, but it's there. Weird blue sort of border around the viewfinder as well. Now that could all be turned up. Does it have a little brightness control? Yeah, there's a hidden one under there. And we don't know if it's the viewfinder or the much better with a bit of focus. You got your adjuster ring on the viewfinder, just a mechanical lens that slides back and forwards usually. Wow, that's weird. Let's go power off. Go to play mode again. Did I switch it into that properly last time? Battery low. Well, you aren't even on a battery. I must have the voltage down a tad. That didn't help. At least it hasn't turned off. Oh, now I've got 2 battery bars going. Well, the viewfinder's actually fine on a black screen, it seems. Can we play the tape? How do I... Wow, that's right. There's probably something hidden under something like this. And we've got rewind, fast forward, stop, play, pause, because this is basically a VCR as well. And we've got a snowy picture, so either nothing on the tape. That's fine, so I think there's something wrong with the camera section. Could be nothing on the tape, could be dirty heads. I'd swear there's a convergence issue with blue and even a bit of green on this viewfinder, but there's no way it's colour. So it must be a lens aberration thing or something. Even on a monochrome one, I don't know. Oh, someone's child in a pram, I think. Why have I got convergence issues on a monochrome? Really weird. Oh, well, someone left their tape in here. Is that sockets hidden under there? I think that's a rubber... Oh, here we go. So we've got a TV output. That's the way to test whether the viewfinder or the camera's at fault. This thing's largely working, I think. Not much good without a battery, but it'd make a good security camera type of thing. Eh? We're at the zoo or somewhere feeding the pony. It's a little washed out. No, I think it's not too bad. That's just some bright thing in the image. No idea where they are. Bit silly leaving your home video in there, but anyway. Did something just happen? Something just happened, I think. Ah, maybe I hit the end of the tape. Could it be that silly? Oh, it's still going backwards. No, I don't know what just happened then, so it's not 100%. I might let it try and get back to the beginning. Oh, it's titled Dreamworld, 29th of the 1st, 03. Oh, we got that weird... Something just flicked up on the viewfinder. It went all white again. And they're just filming inside their apartment, I guess. CRT television. Looks like it might be a nice Sony. Bit dark, so I can't really see. I can probably take the... Can we see anything there? Not really. So dark. Too light in here to see the image. Oh, there it is. So there's a tiny little image there on a CRT. That's the one cool thing that exists in these cameras, is a tiny little CRT, only monochrome. Don't think they ever made a colour anywhere near as small as that, because it's just too hard to... Well, just too few pixels really. By the time you put a few phosphor dots on there, it's pretty useless. But they've got a little on-screen display in there. Hey, we might be able to get some image on the... If I can get the camera to focus, if I can get the viewfinder to stay back on there. It's the on-screen display in there. It's gone. Oh, it's still there. Oh, that's it there. It's just so blurred. It's not sure if the camera's picking that up very well, but there's a little, as you can see, little CRT in there. We've got some image of something. No idea what I'm looking at, because I'm looking through the camera. I've got a bridge or something. What is that? No, it's a ride. Looks like a fun park ride. Being Dreamworld, that's what it would be. Okay, so I think we've seen enough of that. Whoops, now the thing's just randomly opening, so maybe the door's a bit broken. Got a couple of springs sticking up there. Is it unscrewed itself or something? Shouldn't that be... Is that meant to be screwed onto that or something? I'm not sure what's going on there, but I don't think that's meant to come apart like that. I think that might be meant to be screwed into that mechanism or something. Or maybe not, that'll be in the way. Oh, if it's back there. No idea. Stop the tape. Go back around to camera mode. Oh, it started off fine and then it went super bright. You know, even if you cover up, you've got a dark... I don't know if that shows up, but there's a dark patch in the middle there, that dark round bit, and light all around. And even if I open it up, for a second it came out good, but it actually did that briefly on the recorder mode as well, so no idea what's going on there. Does the zoom work? Yeah, the zoom works. The on-screen display seems to come up over that fine, so I think it's a camera issue What have we got? Different modes here. Let's have a try the different modes. That's darkened down, but it's still brighter in the middle. Oh, no, there we go. High contrast. Oh, it might just be the mode it's in. This thing's basically working, I think. Don't know if you can see that. It's just looking at, well, not much really. In the workshop here, RCA plug on the bench there. And where are we? I've lost it there. Can zoom in, it probably won't have very good focus at that closer range. Can we get the power supply there? Someone that's feeding it. I can't tell what I'm looking at. Yeah, that's it, I think. Should be a panel meter there somewhere. Oh, hard to control it. Or is that the other sockets? I think it was. Oh no, there it is. There's a panel meter. That's actually working fine. They don't have a very wide field of view, these things, so they don't make great security cameras, but that was one use for these old things, is you just put them in video mode or video camera mode and just leave them sitting on a windowsill or something. You can view what's going on outside type of thing. Can we fast forward on screen? I think we can. Yeah, it's got vision search, not the best. Big band of snow through the middle of it. Now the next bit of footage. Tropical fruit world or something. Uh-oh, something's frozen, I think. Let's pause. Oh, something's severely wrong with the recording. What on the other? Oh, I can hear tape chewing. Stop. I think we've lost the screw there somewhere. Has it chewed it up? It sure has. You bastard. Well, there goes our home recording. Ah, damn. But not surprising, that's the problem with using these old machines. There's a bit of muck on there. I better clean it. Oh god, yeah, it's really, look how much chewing it's done. Could be a bad patch in the tape, who knows. It was a bit iffy before though, so I suspect what we really have to do is either cut that piece out, or you can clean it. Any bits of grease on here, you really want to wipe them off before you wind it back in. That's a bit. It may still clog the heads up or something. It's not going to be too good, that patch. Don't know what it did to give it those lines in it. I think most of it's fairly clean, even with me putting my fingers on it. Oh, there's some there. But that is surprising, this thing still actually works to some degree. Yeah, surprising this thing's basically working. That's a rarity with these things. Got the record protection tab that slides across. One thing I haven't tested is record, but not sure why that started chewing. Quite amazing little VCR mech in there. Not much fun to work on, but it's amazing how miniature they can make them. Now, even back to the 80s, they were making things that kind of size. That's a stop. Can we fast forward a bit? Right, try not to play that bit again. The kids and they're feeding the cows or something. I think that's when I was vision searching that it stuffed up, because it is, that's what it is. I think it's putting a lot of snow on the screen, and we're back to the horse. You can hear it making weird noises. That's probably why it chews, and now it's made the picture go weird. Which possibly, let's try fast forward a bit in case there's some, yeah, something's not happy. Error 03. No, she's not good. It's done well to get that far though. And it just shut off. Now it's unable to fast forward, so I think we've got a real issue or something here. Weird, it worked before that. And we're going to error 3. And we turn off. Yep, no image. Not good. I think we're chewing again. Error 3 again, so there's probably a reel's not working. Real sensor fault type thing. I think we've chewed the tape up again. Can we see what's going on in there? Not really. And yeah, it's just spewed a whole lot of tape out again. So I don't think we should try doing that again. Oh god. Yeah, no, we got to take up real issue. Oh my god, how many meters are in here? What's it caught around now? It's the pinch roller. I think it's wrapped right around the bloody thing. Pinch roller has a mountain of tape around it. I'll try and get it out by hand, but there must be quite a bit around it because it's coming and coming and coming. Oh my god. Oh no, it's wrecked the tape anyway, but look at it. No, I thought I saw an end on it. Just very coiled up. Thought it had broke it. Oh, that tape's pretty well shot now, so I'm glad I didn't put a good one in there. Let's see if I can wind that back in. I'm not even going to try and clean this bit. But that is pretty well destroyed that. Oh, well, at least I've got a good viewfinder. Maybe we'll have a look at that. See if we can get the screws out of that. Don't know if it's as simple as taking out these couple of screws, but it's worth a try. I think that's coming loose. Another one down there, and of course the screwdriver doesn't quite reach. Oh, maybe it does. Well, it's sort of coming loose. Feels like something's still well and truly holding it in there though. Is there another screw? But I can see there's definitely something up the top there though. Normally I wouldn't do something like this, but this one I don't really care about too much. Does this have some sort of... it does have a track. Should have known that. No, that won't work. Two screws out. So what's holding it? Or does this just pop off somehow? There's something in that top corner still clinging in. Other screws hiding there. Otherwise I could pop the viewfinder open. Whoop, I was going to say, does that just clip out somehow? I think it does. And I think it did. Oh, we've got a ribbon cable hanging off, of course. It looks like it should have a bit more length on it, but yeah, if you carefully pull on it, you get a little bit more, but I can see something else folded over in there. No, it's not much really. You really need to pull the camera apart normally. Jeez, whatever that is, it's super tight. I don't think... Well, can I get this thing apart without taking that off is the question. I think that might be loose. Where'd the other one disappear to? Oh, under there. Come on, where are you? A different size screw or something. Actually, that one hasn't. No, it doesn't come loose at all. What am I talking about? Now it's loose. That one you can get a good grip with that screwdriver. This one is a much finer one, I think. A little dual screwdriver. Yeah, that's it. That's one out. I don't know if the other one wants to come out. I'm going to take that off. There it is. What a little beauty. That's the little CRT itself. Absolutely tiny. Just be careful because they're very fragile really. Got a deflection yoke on it, some adjustment magnets. Little picture tube socket on the end. A lot of them, the EHT, I thought went in through the picture tube socket, but this one's actually got some sort of anode cap type thing up the other end. So JVC might have done it a little differently. Got a little line output transformer there. These little caps, which are usually what causes trouble. Maybe this one hasn't had too much use and hasn't been overheated like a lot of them were. There's our connector. Where's a flat one? Gonna flick up the little bit around the outside. And of course, be careful, there are some higher voltages in this part. So obviously turn the camera off and unplug any power, battery, whatever before you do that. But that is what we get. Tiny little monitor. It probably runs on composite video. Might have to see if I can find any info on this camera, because this one's not going to be easy to work out what pin does what. But since we've got a working camera, we could fairly quickly find out which ones are power and earth basically. What have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 I think connections. 2, 4, 6, there's 7. Well, it says up to 10 on here, but there's some on the other side. My god, how many connections? What's the cable got in it? It would be the indicator. 2, so small I can't even really see them. Not enough to count them. 2, it does your head in. 2, 4, 6, I think there might be 9 at least, maybe it is a 10-way connector. Got lots of test points. Nothing to tell you much else. Some of them are actually labelled, or some of the older ones have, you know, just wires coming in, and even the colour coding might give you like black and red for power and yellow for video and what, that sort of thing. Okay, luckily there was a manual for this online, so I had to look on the circuit where things actually went, and this is the little connector here. There is another version of this camera, like another model, which is basically the same camera I guess with some other features, that has a colour LCD viewfinder which has got some of these other connections. But for this one we've just got this VF, or for viewfinder, regulated 5 volts. Is that the video? I think they're your mono VF out, so that's the video into it. It's got a VF IND indicator maybe, I'm not sure what that one is. There's mainly that video, and of course ground. And I found out the power goes across this C6, which, where's it? There's the chip. So it's this little electrolytic capacitor here, which is a through hole one, so easy to connect to there, or solder a couple of wires. I think it's test point 1 and test point 6 maybe. And the video I think came here, this little test point 2 thing here. Look down here, test point 2, and it goes through a resistor, so we might have to bypass that resistor. Test point 2 there, and then this little resistor R27, so you can get to either side of that. Yeah, I think test point 2 is on the bottom side, closest to the edge of the board. We'll try running, you know, like a sort of 1 volt peak to peak video signal into there and see if it works. I don't think there's much in the manual. Maybe there were some waveforms somewhere, I can't remember if I found them or not, to show what the camera actually feeds it, so it could have different levels. Miyota 2458, Oriex Japan 55 on the yoke. So that's all I've got to do really, is hook across that capacitor 5 volts in, and yeah, video into test point 2 there, and to ground. Not sure if there's a convenient ground around there, but we'll just use the same one as the power, so really only 3 wires we need. So I'll get them hooked on and we'll try it out. Okay. Nothing. Okay, we've got it hooked up to the pattern generator now. Oh yeah, that comes up quite quickly, and there it is. A little tiny crosshatch pattern. There's the colour bars, or grayscale as it is. One of those white screen, one of them's red. Oh, that's the dots. Actually, it's a bit bright in here for that. There is an adjustment on it somewhere. I think, oh yeah, I can see the dot pattern now. I don't know if that's coming out in the camera, but definitely a tiny little pattern of dots on there. That's a bit brighter. The crosshatch and checkerboard. Looks like it's maybe slightly tilted a bit. Yeah, down that side of the screen. It definitely looks like it's rotated that way. I'm not sure if the picture's up the right way or not either. Can't really tell with this pattern generator. I don't think. Oh, I guess the grey. Does the grayscale normally start with the bright on that side? I honestly can't remember now, but I think that is the right way up. I think it starts with white, and then the colours getting darker to the other side. But yeah, that's a pretty cool little thing. So they really do need, ideally, to, because it's so small, they do need to be hidden in a little dark enclosure like a viewfinder with a lens on it, because they're just so small. But it is a pretty cool little thing. I mean, it's only, you know, tip of your finger size. Finger sort of covers up a fingernail size, literally. And don't forget that these may have high voltage at a reasonable current in this. They probably can bite you in because they've got a horizontal output stage. Most of the connections to the tube look like they're well sealed up, but on this circuit board itself, if you touch it while it's running, just be extra careful, especially around that end where the line output transformer is. You don't know what you're going to be touching. I'd say all this other end of the board's probably fairly safe, but there is a horizontal output transistor and line output transformer that'll be running at a decent rate there. decent current even for a little thing like this, though to be fair it's barely drawing anything on the power supply. Even with the signal here, just the meter moves less, maybe up to 100 milliamps if that. So they're pretty efficient, which is one of the reasons they're so small. And they did make a version of this camera with a colour LCD in, which would be kind of cool to see, but of course you're only going to get like some sort of board with a few more chips and stuff on it, and then just one little flat panel, I guess. They might have one of those flat panel backlight things, the electroluminescent panel things, probably all they would have had in those. I doubt they'd have any sort of fluorescent tubes or anything fancy like that, so probably just a luminescent flat sheet of plastic behind the LCD. I seem to remember them being in video camera viewfinders, so maybe they were the LCD ones. I think they used them in like those, what was the Atari Lynx or something, was it? Game, little handheld computer game. I think they used the same things. So I reckon it was that sort of era as well, so quite likely it's only just a little tiny flat panel. Obviously don't have all the tube and deflection yoke and stuff, and just a circuit board, so they're probably quite boring to look at. Just a board with a little flat plastic ribbon cable to a flat panel, I guess. Still, it'd be kind of cool to see one. I see a little image that small. But yeah, I don't know what you could really use these things for other than a novelty. But I think they're pretty cool just for something different. It's nice to get one going again. I haven't played with one of these for a while. Although I do have a couple other cameras here I did start playing around with, but they got all sorts of issues. One of them's full of dud caps, which is normally the case with these things. And I don't think the viewfinder on that one was actually operational even. So this one worked out alright. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend paying much for a second-hand video camera, because they're often completely shot with dud caps and stuff, and you're lucky if you even get a viewfinder out of them. But yeah, that's a cool little thing. I'll see if I can get a set-top box or something hooked up, and I'll see if I can get some images on this thing. Okay, I pulled out a 50mm lens, which is a bit more suited to this. And that's the image. Can we get a bit of the glare off it? That's better. Looks a tad blue in this camera, at least in the viewfinder, but yeah, that's the image I'm getting. I haven't adjusted the focus or anything, brightness on the viewfinder itself, but I think there's adjustments for both those in there somewhere. But yeah, that's bigger than what it is in the real world. There's my fingertip. So it's still a tiny little picture. Okay, I'll set the camera manually so I can get it in the dark, and that's somewhere around the best setting, similar to what I can see with my eye. The blacks are a little on the white side, probably a little bit better on the camera at the moment than what I'm seeing. The brights are a little bright, the whites are a little bright. So I think the camera has a slight improvement over the actual brightness setting of the unit, but of course that depends what the lighting is. So in the daylight it doesn't look too bad to my eye, and of course in the viewfinder it's a bit different, but that's actually quite a good monochrome image on the camera at the moment. But yeah, that's a cool little novelty device, so thanks for watching.